Hello. Hello, everyone. Ben, I don't understand what you're saying about the two Cybertrucks. Yeah, I can't believe how fast they're moving in Texas. They already have the pile drivers coming in. So, and supposedly somebody just leaked that Shanghai is getting ready to start doing test production runs with the Model Ys, which I don't. How long did that take for them to build that additional Model Y plant? Like 4 months, 3 months? My God, there really is something to this machine that builds the machine thing they've got going on. Ben, I didn't understand your question or what you said there in your first comment. Oh, your Tesla stock. I got it. Yeah. Well, kind of mine too, but most of mine's in my 401k, so I can't touch it for like 10 years or 15 years. So I'll have to find another way. But worst case, I'll trade in my Tacoma if I'm not able to make enough money to pay for the payment through rentals, or if Robotaxi's a ways off. My payment will probably go up. My payment for my Tacoma is like $650, and I think my tri-motor is going to be like $950. So it's not ideal, but I should be able to at least make $300 a month. That's like 1 or 2 days rentals. Hello to Canada. It's gonna be a good. I'm not sure I can get through everything I want to cover tonight. I got a lot of stuff I want to talk about. I didn't even pour myself a drink. I'm gonna do that. I'm trying some of this Bullet bourbon. I had I had a half bottle of it, and I didn't remember what it was like, so I decided, well, I tried some out last night just to make sure I wouldn't pass out when I had my first sip of it, but it's not bad. I don't like it as much as Woodford, but got a lot to talk about tonight. Starting with the Ram TRX T-Rex. Let's see. Just waiting until we get to 8 o'clock before we launch into it. So I'm going to do something a little different because I've had a hard time getting videos out. I'm going to try and, after the stream is done, segment out some of these and post them up as like clips based on the topic. If they're any good. If they're crappy, then I'm not going to do that. But hopefully that will help me to keep making videos when the snow starts to fly. So we'll see. I'm just experimenting. Let's see. Long-time listener, first-time caller. Yeah. Bullet. The Bullet's not bad. It's not bad. Yeah, I did get a haircut. I have to get a haircut about what pre-COVID I usually get my haircut every 3 weeks. So now during COVID, I probably let it grow out an extra week, an extra week or so. My hair grows really fast. Okay. Well, it's only a good idea. I think a lot of people will watch segments of the stream after the fact. So this way I can kind of break out some parts of it that I think will at least be interesting. And I had multiple people ask me to talk about the TRX. It's 801. Okay, so we'll get into it. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is, I want to talk about specifically the TRX or T-Rex. That's the new Dodge off-road adapted pickup truck. They're 1500 series or half-ton truck series adapted for off-road to basically compete head-to-head with the Ford Raptor. But I wanted to say something at the front end before we dive in and start looking at the truck specifically compared to the Cybertruck, which is I keep hearing people talk about how Legacy Auto, once they get in, they're really going to compete with Tesla. And what I want to point out in this video is this is the state-of-the-art, cutting-edge, most advanced truck design that we have as far as a high-performance truck. So Ford came out with their F-150, their new F-150, about a month ago. And I would say there wasn't anything except the fold flat seats. That's one feature I would like Tesla to, I got to put that on my feature list. Those fold flat seats for lying flat, like you can in first class airline seats, that's really cool. But I mean, it's like they're doing everything they can do to outcompete one another. And what we're going to look at today is the best of what they have to offer. It's this truck doesn't even come out for, 2021. I'm not sure when deliveries start, but that's, I think, important to keep in mind. And I think there's a bit of irony with this, which is that both the Raptor and the T-Rex are named after dinosaurs. Feels very like Freudian to me that they've named their high performance vehicles after dinosaurs. So I think that's kind of funny in that I would say the Cybertruck is a meteor headed for their business. Okay, so I watched the reveal. I'm not going to go through it here because I think it was very hypey. And so I just decided I'd go to the build and price part of the Ram website and go through the specs as we can, as far as what we know. So I start out 702 horsepower, 650 pound-feet of torque, 4.5 seconds 0 to 60 time. So we're going to get into the price in a second, but this starts at $70,000. This vehicle starts at the price of a tri-motor. So it's real easy for me to say, you got to compare this to a tri-motor because it's the same price. So you're already talking about faster. So just, if you look here, this was Motor Trend's attempt to try and estimate what the tri-motor would be capable of producing in terms of horsepower and pound-feet of torque based on extrapolating from other vehicles. And in their opinion, the Cybertruck tri-motor is going to have around 800 horsepower and 1,000 pound-feet of torque. So we go back to here, and it's 25% better than the T-Rex. So right off the bat, now they came out in their reveal and they were saying, this is the fastest, highest performance pickup truck that's out there. It's like everyone's ignoring the fact that both Rivian and Tesla are going to have pickup trucks delivered at the end of next year that are going to be better than this. So their reign of the highest performance pickup truck is going to last all of 6 months. That is a half a second faster. It's all the stats are slightly better than the Raptor. So you got the, engine with a zillion moving parts. And this is I believe this is a 6-cylinder turbo. And if you ever, I'm not sure how many of you are real auto people, but if you ever watch Scotty Kilmer's channel where he talks about these high performance turbocharged V6 engines. He is not a fan of them. He basically says you stress them out and you end up having a lot more problems than with standard V8 engines. So, and maybe theirs is a V8. I think it's a V6 turbo. Okay, so here we go. Ground clearance, 11.8 inches versus the Cybertruck 16 inches. Now, we don't have front and rear suspension travel yet. Early on, Motor Trend did an article where they said it looked like it had every bit of 12 inches, but we don't have official suspension travel. And I'm not going to explain why that's important here. But they have this proprietary active suspension system by Bilstein. It's a nitrogen charged bypass system. If you don't know suspensions, it's high performance. It's got electronic feedback, so it can adjust the dampening and the compression, like we talked about last week with the Cybertruck. So this suspension, if it delivers, should be better than the Raptor suspension. Maybe better than the Cybertrucks. My biggest worry about the Cybertruck is the suspension. And it's not that it's going to be bad, but it's that I'm not sure if it will operate at the same level of performance as these really high performance off-road suspensions. It's not horrible unless you're doing extreme off-roading, high speed stuff. You're not even really going to be able to tell. But that is one of my concerns. Now, I'm hopeful with Tesla's emphasis on making this very off-road capable that they're going to deliver on that, but TBD. It's a little harder for whatever reason to do that with air suspension than it is to do it with the nitrogen gas and hydraulic suspensions. And I don't know all the reasons why, but anyway. Okay, so they have dynamic drive modes. This is going to be standard. This is standard in all the high performance off-road specific trucks nowadays. They have these variable, you can adjust basically your traction control setting for the type of terrain that you're on. And I have it in my Tacoma and it works really well. Let's see here. So now wide fenders, it's very wide. I didn't write it down. I think it's like maybe even slightly wider than the Raptor, which is already 3 inches wider than the F-150. Okay, look at the buttons. I mean, my God. I'm not saying I'm totally 100% sold on the Cybertruck just having the monitor. And that's one criticism you hear about Teslas is like, people are like, it would be nice to have a few buttons or a few more control surfaces, but I have a Tacoma, and for the Tacomas and the 4Runners, which are very off-road oriented vehicles, Toyota actually on their TRD Pro series, they have less electronics. And the reason is when you're driving these things really hard in hard conditions, all of these electronics, all these buttons, all this stuff has a tendency to get like you get dirt in all the cracks because you're driving with your windows open, dust is coming in, and all of a sudden you have dust in all the little seams of the buttons. It's really irritating, and then that can get in and it can affect how the buttons react. It just looks insane to me. Maybe, I suppose some people like this. This just looks like, good God, what is going on? So anyway, okay, I like this. I really want the Cybertruck to have this as an option. Sandy Monroe's talked about it. He's remarked on how ideal the flat glass is for creating a HUD and projecting a HUD. And if they won't do it, I hope that they will. This is one thing I really want them to do. I really want them to be able to have an app store where we can get third-party Bluetooth connected devices that can do things like HUDs. We talked a little bit about integrating additional cameras. Like, there's a lot of things we could do if Tesla doesn't want to do it. Like, okay, make it so that through an app store, third-party electronics can sort of either feed into or project out from or provide data from the computer. Because then you could basically customize everything you wanted in the Cybertruck. Let's see here. Okay, now 5'7" bed as opposed to the 6.5-foot bed of the Cybertruck. So and I think we'll see, but my guess is when I'll do a full, like one of my full comparison videos where I do all the costs and all that other stuff. But we need a few more details. Like, well, yeah, I just need a few more details in order to do that. But this is gonna be. Notice what we didn't see anywhere. You notice what specs they didn't talk about. They didn't mention payload, and they didn't mention towing, which is, as I've said over and over and over again, the sacrifice that internal combustion vehicles make when they go hardcore towards something that's off-road capable. They put these really soft suspensions in, these high-performance off-road suspensions in, and all of a sudden, so their payload, 1,300 pounds. 1,310 pounds versus the Cybertruck's 3,500. And their towing capacity, 8,100 pounds versus the tri-motor, which is 14,000. So I guarantee you, once we do the full comparison where I go through and I do all the numbers, it's going to be the Cybertruck value proposition is so far superior to everything that they're making. I've been thinking that Legacy would be more successful with bringing better competition into the electric vehicle space until I've seen their most recent releases, and I'm like, I don't want to say it's over because I don't want it to be over, but man, outside of the aesthetics, I think it's a cool looking truck. But you know, again, Dodge is not known for having, as far as reliability goes, they're usually at the bottom of the reliability list. They usually depreciate the fastest. Dodge, Ram, whatever, same thing. They're not known for building super, at least Ford is known for having pretty good build quality on their vehicles. So, okay, let's see. I saw Sandy Monroe's denying he works for Tesla. I never thought he did. Let's see here. Let's see. Oh, my CT comes here. Oh, I'm sure there'll be Cybertrucks in Australia by 2025. Let's see. Will there be some type of sunshade? Are you talking about inside the Cybertruck? I'm pretty sure. I mean, I already can hang cargo nets on the. I can already put liners up. I'm pretty sure you could put. You can tint it if you want. I don't know that the Cybertruck's going to have that standard, but I'm sure you can tint the windows because you can do it with regular windows. Okay. So yeah, I don't know how you would do a sunshade in the Cybertruck. I mean, probably someone will invent something, but I don't. I think if you're worried about that, you have the same people. The same people that do wrapping do tint. So it'll be if you find the ambient light of the Cybertruck overly bright, it's super easy to add tinting, and it's super easy to remove it and change the level of tinting. So, yeah, I don't think we're to the point where they have that technology that, maybe they will, maybe they'll have that stuff, on my glasses. I've got that, dynamic where it gets darker as it's exposed to sun. So if anyone's going to add something like that, I'll bet Tesla does. But as far as I know, there's nothing like that on the horizon. Okay, just a brief note. Oh, look at this. Start over. Okay, sorry for the delay. it's doing this. Okay, so I wanted to just show you. Check this out, guys. I didn't even add all the options. $92,000. So if you want to have, this adds some things you can't get in the Cybertruck, like it adds cooled, ventilated seats. I don't think Teslas have that. For at least I thought they didn't have that. They don't have the revert rear blind spot sensor or cross traffic sensor. Which, why? Come on, get it together, Tesla. You're doing full autonomy, but you don't have cross traffic alert. That seems silly. That's the one feature other automakers have that the Cybertruck or Tesla doesn't have. At least that's what I was told by people that actually have Teslas. So, but basically, if you want to get the electronic and luxury features like leather seats and I don't think they do heated steering wheels with Teslas. Maybe they do. I don't know about that. I guess I need to do a little bit more dive into some of their features. But if you want to get it outfitted to be similar to a Cybertruck, you're looking at $80,000 to $90,000. And that's before you start adding things like the tonneau cover. That's just to get their version of autopilot, the lame version of autopilot. And the leather seats and, keyless remote starting, which I know Teslas don't start, but you can heat it up remotely, that kind of stuff. So to get it to match, you have to be somewhere in 80 to 90,000 just to get the base price. And that's with the advanced driver assistance that the Cybertruck will have standard. So then if you get autopilot, they can't even give you autopilot. It's so not even fair. It's not even fair how much more capable and low cost and high mileage and all that stuff that the Cybertruck's going to be. So if this is the best that Legacy can do, they're going to have a rough road to hoe, especially if Rivian gets spun up. I think between Rivian and the Cybertruck, there's not a lot of advantages these high performance internal combustion vehicles have. Because if you want smaller, more off-road capable with aesthetics that aren't as shocking as a Cybertruck, you get a Rivian. Like the tank turn feature, that's freaking awesome. I really hope Cybertruck will do that. Oh, brief aside before we move on, I wanted to show you this. This is the Motor Trend article on the Cybertruck from way back when the Cybertruck was first revealed. But I wanted to show you this because I have a really early video that I think has like 1,000 views on it or something, where I explain my theory for how the Cybertruck can do something like a tank turn. I did not even realize until I was reading this to look for the torque numbers that they wrote in this article, the twin motors could have other benefits since they can operate independently of each other. The motors could provide the Cybertruck with torque vectoring on-road and off-road, and also allow Tesla to either drag or run one motor in reverse in sharp turns to effectively lower the turning circle. So basically the wheels would counter rotate, the back wheels, and that would allow you to do what I call a pivot turn. Not a tank turn, but something really, really close. And so I thought my idea was really unique, and here it turns up it was in a Motor Trend article that was like 2 months before I did my video. So anyway, I thought that was interesting. Okay, I want to talk about racks. Racks. So one of the questions that keeps coming up is, how are you going to be able to do a roof rack? There's no anchoring points on the Cybertruck. And so I've had a lot of people having issues or concerns about how could you have a rack system. It's really not that complicated. What you can do is you can do a suction cup rack system that is at the apex of the roof line. So you have a support beam there. And then you do one of these coming off the hitch. there's a zillion types of these out there. And my guess is the Cybertrucks, there will be, I think people will design ones just for the Cybertruck, because this is where that 3,500 pounds of payload capacity comes into play so much. When you're doing regular hitch racks, the problem is, instead of the weight being distributed over the back tires with a normal traditional rack system, now you're putting the weight way back out here over the back. So you put a lot more pressure. You have more mechanical leverage on the back. And so you reduce how much you can put on the rack because of the way you're putting pressure down on the rear. But the one thing that can counteract that is an air suspension. So the air basically can sense that weight putting down on it, and it can actually push back up against it. So the kinds of weight bearing loads that you'll be able to put on the hitch, and then are going to be very heavy. In my F-250, I could put like a 500 pound. I could carry my motorcycle, my big heavy motorcycle, 600 pounds, on the back of my hitch with the F-250. It could hold it up. And the F-250's payload and the Cybertruck's payload are about the same. The F-250 might be 3,800 to 4,000 pounds. But that air suspension will allow you to do this. So you don't have to drill in. You don't have to have a rack system that is actually mounted to the truck, because you can use suction cups. And I'm telling you, these suction cups, this company makes them. They make racks for cars, but you could go out and use the ones they use for carrying glass. Those are rated to carry lift like 200 to 300 pounds. That's not forced down this way. That's actually what it could hold up via suction. I mean, you could climb buildings with these suction cups. So, and the Cybertruck is, and the great thing about these is, if you think about, if you had the ability to change the angle, you could mount suction cups on the side of the Cybertruck or on the roof, be very adjustable, and then you put the hitch rack on the back end, and now you can span that distance between them. And you could do all kinds of things. I wanted to show you a couple of things related to hitch mounts. So this is a hitch mounted carrier that's designed to carry like a electric wheelchair or something like that. It can carry up to 500 pounds, and it has a little ramp so you can drive something up, and that goes right into the hitch. So what I like about these systems is that you can either have them tall, like right here, but you can also put it down like this, so you can put things out on the bed, and it basically functionally extends the bed. And so what's great about this, I'll show you a better kind of version if you don't need to carry something up high. So this is like a system that you basically, if you want to get access to the bed, it lets you pivot it down. And then when you close the bed up, you just pivot it back up. And this is something that is popular. Depends where you live, I guess, if you do tailgating. But this is an example of, there's a whole world of hitch-mounted rack producers out there. Some people do it for doing like putting a spare tire on the back and like an off-road, like a tool. You can put tools and a jack and other stuff you use for off-roading. But what's nice about this is this swings away. So there are all kinds of swing away hitches that you can carry something on the back, you swing it away, and you have full access to the bed, you swing it back. So I bet with the Cybertruck, you're going to get a bunch of super cool swing away hitch mounted rack systems that either can integrate with suction cup roof racks or are just standalone. And the air suspension will give you so much flexibility. So this is I just did a video on why the Cybertruck will let you take awesome, affordable vacations. And this is one of the things I was talking about, was leveraging the cargo capacity to add gear and carrying capacity to your Cybertruck so that you can have more fun when you go on vacation, either carrying things like obviously bikes, motorcycles, a kitchen. I mean, sky's the limit. And then you still have the full bed. I just think you're going to have, what I'm trying to say is stop worrying about a rack system. It is very solvable. The whether you actually mount something to the Cybertruck itself or you just use what I said, suction cups and hitch mounting, it's really not going to be that hard to do rack systems. So even rack systems that can hold something like a rooftop tent, you won't be able to use those standard suction cups. You'll have to upgrade to the bigger ones. But my guess is I think aftermarket people are going to start going, oh, there's a lot of people buying these. Let's build rack systems specifically for the Cybertruck. Because they do that. That's what they do for all the other trucks. All the other off-road vehicles have a crap ton of aftermarket stuff you can do. So, yeah, that was it. I just wanted to cover that and say racks aren't going to be a problem. It's very solvable. So, okay, we're done with racks. Any questions on racks? Oh, it's a V8. Okay, that's a good engine actually. Well, oh man, the frunk. What this is? I'm gonna have some. I cannot wait till I get my Cybertruck. It's gonna be so great because I can put all my right now. There's times I just want to go on little like an overnight camping trip, but then I got to get all my gear in, get it all organized. It's a pain in the butt. But with the frunk and with the side panel storage areas, I'll be able to keep a bunch of my gear in the truck and it won't be in the bed. Like I can still use the bed. Oh my God. I cannot wait till I get my freaking Cybertruck. Okay. Let's see. Oh, you'll need more than 2 ice trucks for the life of that thing. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, well, there is going to be a smaller Cybertruck. Honestly, if they announce a smaller Cybertruck and I haven't gotten my dual motor, I will probably cancel my dual motor and wait for the smaller Cybertruck. I would love to have a Tacoma size Cybertruck, Cyber Mini, that's what I'm calling it, and a full-size one. Okay. Let's see. I don't think, well, yeah, Gerg. I don't think those are T-slots. Any ideas? Yeah, you could mount a rooftop tent using a combination of suction cups and hitch mounting. You might even be able to do it with just suction cups. I mean, these suction cups can these guys move around 1-ton sheets of granite with those things. I mean, I've seen guys move some amazing things with those freaking suction cups. So they can hang on. They can hang on to they can bear massive loads. Okay. So I wanted to talk a sec about the tonneau cover. So in all of here's the thing. There's been all this excitement recently with the battery day. And it is very exciting. But one of the things, and I've been thinking about doing a video on this, and I'm not sure if this short section will suffice, but I want to talk about how revolutionary the tonneau cover is. So I wanted to do this. I'm going to replay this. Hopefully the sound on this works. So I wanted to replay this little section here from the Leno show.
So back here we have the vault.
Okay.
Touch of a button. Just opens right up like magic.
That's very cool. And a good-sized bed, yeah.
If you want to mount like a missile launcher or something, you can do that.
Yeah, and closes them. And how strong is that?
You can walk on this thing.
You can walk on it?
Yeah. It's very strong. It's like, so if you've got some valuable cargo in the back, this will protect your cargo and secure it against being stolen. So it's pretty stout. People of Tesla!
Okay. So the reason I want to talk about the tonneau cover is that I think it's so easy to overlook how this system transforms our relationship with a pickup truck, because it transforms our relationship with the bed. Historically, and this is why it's such a big deal. You could only do this. This only works with this design. One of the things that no one appreciates, when they see the design, they look at the weirdness of it. But one of the most brilliant parts of this design is the integrated tonneau cover that lets you make the bed functionally integrated with the rest of the vehicle in a way that a truck bed never can be. And this is one reason why I think so many people are hopeful for a full mid-gate pass-through, because then that transformation would be complete. But you cannot do what the Cybertruck has done here unless you have this design, unless you have the sail that slopes down like that, unless you did a tonneau cover that went like this and it was like an accordion desk kind of thing. That's the only other way to do it. The way that this changes how we can use the Cybertruck is so disruptive, and it's so unappreciated. People look at all the other EVs, are like, oh, the Ford EV, or electric truck, and the Rivian electric truck, and the Badger electric truck, whatever, all the other the Hummer. And they look at things like the specs and the price and all that other stuff. That's valid. The reason you buy a truck, the thing that makes a truck different than anything else is the bed. That's what makes it different. That's why you buy a pickup truck. It's the bed. And the integrated automatic tonneau cover makes the bed so much more valuable than a regular truck. People cannot conceive of it. We can maybe on this channel. But until someone decides they're going to actually just copy the Cybertruck, I don't think the Cybertruck is going to have competition. Because what this does, it does multiple things. So the first thing that it does is it gives us for free a feature that would otherwise cost something in the neighborhood of $3,000. So here is the Retrax powered tonneau cover. And let's see here.
Hi, I'm Todd Henderson, and this is great against the yellow key fobs.
Okay,
To
so
open
see,
the cover,
this has,
just press
this
O
is basically
and press
does
C
the
to
same
close
thing.
the cover.
It's powered. You can control it with a button. It's metal. It's very durable. These are pretty good tonneau covers. They're $2,500 plus installation. And so you can do it yourself. If you have this installed, you're probably going to pay another $200-300 for installation. So the first thing is you're getting this for free. But the second thing is that you're getting this, whatever. So you're getting this space. The difference between if you want a usable space where you can actually camp in the back of it, you typically have to put not a tonneau cover on, you have to put a truck cap on. And the problem with the truck cap, the reason I don't have a truck cap, is because I can't put anything taller than the truck cap in my bed. So you're always forced to decide, do I want a tonneau cover? That means I can't camp in the bed. unless I put a tent in there or something. Do I want a truck cap? Well, I can camp in it now, but now I can't put my motorcycle in the back, or pallets of materials. Truck caps limit a lot of stuff that you can do. It makes the bed more utilitarian. It gives you more working space, but it really limits what you can put in the bed. Or do I go with nothing and then I have no security? This is the only solution I can imagine. I can't think of another solution that allows you to get all the benefits. It gives you every advantage of every other system with all the flexibility of not having any of them, which is just remarkable. And the thing is that most people don't understand this yet because they haven't seen the way people will use the interior. I talk about using it for camping, but for a tradesperson, the ability to actually store tools and equipment in here. And we used to have our irrigation service guys before we got them vans. They had a truck with a cap on it, and they would have to try and crawl because they had all their irrigation parts in the bed. We couldn't just leave it open. And so they'd have to try and climb in there, crouch over, dig through stuff. The beauty of this is you can put all that stuff in there. Then when you want to get in, you just roll the tonneau cover up, jump up, get in and look at your stuff. The amount of flexibility that this tonneau cover gives you is the most important utility feature of the Cybertruck. And yet nobody talks about it when they talk about the other trucks. Nobody talks about it. But for recreational and professional use, the retractable tonneau cover is a total game changer. But until people start seeing it in use with different shelving mods and different recreational mods and until people see it, they don't envision it. They can't understand why it's so revolutionary. But no one else is going to be able to do this. You have to use this design. You have to use this sloped back design in order to get this retractable tonneau cover that gives you still, if you close it, enough room to actually sleep in and not feel like it's claustrophobic. So I'm astonished that so few people don't realize what a game changer this system is, this vault system with the retractable tonneau cover. It changes everything about trucks. And when people buy trucks, they're buying it, a big chunk of people are buying it for the utility. So that is that. Okay, I wanted to, what time is it? 8:38. All right, any other questions? No, I think the slots in the bed are just drainage slots. All beds have a ridge and valley system to allow for drainage and also to allow you to pick up flat materials. Otherwise, they get like vacuum sealed to the truck. Let's see. Oh yeah, theft. Yeah, that's huge, especially tools, especially. Yep, the pass through. I agree. All right. Okay, that's it. Okay, so one of the things that I've been wondering about is how I've been thinking about Elon made a statement in the reveal that the size and weight of the Cybertruck are similar to its competitors. And so I keep wondering about the whole tri-motor thing, because if they're just going to double stack a regular battery in there, it feels like that's going to be a hella heavy truck. So one of the things that I've been wondering about is a lot of people have been speculating that this is the notice for the battery day thing, and this is something to do with silicone anodes, which I know nothing about, except that the idea is that they will make the batteries more energy dense. So the question is, because it looks like they're getting ready to produce these Roadrunner batteries, I think that's what they're calling them, at Fremont in the smaller line. I've been wondering if they might actually be planning on using this battery inside the tri-motor. And if that's part of the reason why it's $20,000 more than the dual motor, it could just be they're just going to double stack a regular battery in there. But I really am curious now if this could be either for the tri-motor or potentially for people have talked about them maybe doing a Raven or a Plaid Cybertruck that might even be a quad motor. That would be super interesting to see if they're going to do that. That's beyond me. I'm already a little nervous about buying the tri-motor at $70,000. The most I've ever spent on a truck is $50,000. So I'm like, but again, I think it'll last forever. So I'm just curious because I think there is a good chance that there's going to be a version of the Cybertruck that uses this new technology at some point in the next couple of years. I hope. It would be super interesting. Okay. So, the last thing I was going to mention, I was going to talk about self-driving snow plows. So most of you know that that's my regular job is I help run a landscape and snow removal business. And one of the things that a lot of people don't necessarily understand is that plowing snow is way simpler than driving. Because essentially, if you could teach the truck a pattern, and the reason I mention this is they're working with these guys here. So John Deere is working with these robotic tractors to do farm work. And the way they do this is that they basically train the tractor by going back and forth on the piece of land to show it how they want it to drive through that through the area with that particular implement. So they teach it once and then it remembers it and then it just follows that pattern. Plowing snow is very similar. So you don't have to deal with, I'm only saying this isn't going to happen until we have full self-driving. But what I'm trying to say is it's going to be easier it'd be easier to plow snow than it would be to self-drive because you could teach the plow a pattern and then after that it would just be obstacle avoidance. That's all it would be. The problem is getting the plow to and from the job site. So the more I thought about this, because someone asked me about plowing snow in the Cybertruck, and that made me think about plowing snow in full self-driving, and that made me think that's going to be an easier thing to teach the Cybertruck to do than regular full self-driving by a long shot. So in terms of plowing snow with the Cybertruck, the issue with the Cybertruck is whether or not they will honor the warranty if someone designs a plow mount for the front of it. As a truck itself, I think it would be incredible as a plow truck for a bunch of reasons. The first reason is it's going to be kind of heavy, which is very useful when you're plowing snow. The second thing is if they can get that vector steering thing with tri-motor, you can't do it with the other two, but if you can do kind of that pivot turn where you counter rotate the wheels and it slews the front end around, that's one of the things when you're plowing snow that's a real pain in the butt with a pickup truck is you have to usually do like a Y turn to turn around in tight spots. And the other thing that is useful when you're plowing is cameras, because usually most times you have something in the bed, usually a salter. And that's another thing is the Cybertruck's stainless steel. So putting a salter in it would be a lot less damaging to it than a regular vehicle. The salter you could do, there's no warranty issues with that. But the issue is a lot of like my F-250, if I didn't purchase, like with my warranty, I had to purchase a rider in order for the truck to be covered if I plowed snow with it. So that to me is the biggest issue with the Cybertruck and plowing snow. Not can it do it or will it be good? I think it will be awesome. I would love to be able to plow snow with the Cybertruck. In fact, at our company, all of our trucks use stainless steel plows, which they would look so badass on the front of the Cybertruck. Man, they'd be super cool. Yeah, I think the Cybertruck definitely will be a great plow vehicle. And I think it will be very easy for the Cybertruck to become an automatic plow truck very quickly after full self-driving happens. I don't know how that happens, if a third-party company would figure that out or not. But to me, it's a super, I just think it's going to be a no-brainer because, yeah, it can do it. And it should be able to do everything else. And so you train it how to plow one time, where to lift the blade, where to put it down, how to angle it, and it remembers how to do it, and it can do it the same way every time. So, I just think that's super interesting because I hadn't been thinking about it until someone asked me. Okay, so let's see. Well, I think the skateboard is designed, so keep in mind Tesla's home market is North America, and about 40-50% of North America is in the snow belt where you're driving in salt all winter long. So if you're anywhere, in the Midwest or the Northeast, you're getting, your car is covered in salt all year long. So as far as I've heard, the skateboard hasn't had any issues. You're not really getting more salt on your vehicle underneath when you're doing snow removal. Mostly you're getting it more in like the bed when you're salting, because most people don't get salt in their truck beds. So you're getting salt in weird places, like you're getting in and out of your cab all the time. And so you can kind of drag in salt. But Teslas have been operating in high salt environments in North America for a decade now. And as far as I've heard, that hasn't been an issue at all for them. So, let's see here. Okay. I think that's all I got for tonight. I had a lot to go through, but we got through it in 48 minutes. Let's see if there's any questions. I don't think, Brian, I think the fenders will be replaceable. You can weld them. You might not like how it looks, but you can cut stainless steel and weld back in stainless steel. So I don't think the fenders are going to be irreplaceable at all. I think if you bend the frame, you're screwed. But I think the fenders are going to be very patchable. I just don't think they're going to look as good. You're going to be able to tell. You'll be able to see the seams. But beyond that, they'll be fine. I mean, I don't care about that. Let's see. Yeah. They make tow behind snow pushers that it would work great with. The problem with those kinds of plows is that you still need a front plow. You can't do everything with pull plows. So unless you're just doing driveways, which we hardly do any, or we do almost all commercial. So pull plows are great for driveways though. And they're great for commercial parking lots. But you still need front plows to do a lot of the detail work. Let's see. No, yeah, you're right, Brian. The outside is the frame, but what I meant by bending the frame is warping the frame. So, like, for example, the doors aren't part of the frame, and the fenders themselves, though they play a structural role, as long as you restore them back to their structural integrity, you won't have lost anything. It just, Trust me, we weld. You can, yeah. I mean, you can weld a lot of stuff, and I've had stuff that's pretty bent that you can bang it out, cut it out, and re-weld it. It's just not going to look great, but it'll still function just fine. Let's see. Any other questions? Yeah, what Ben said. Any accident that would total the Cybertruck would total another car. Because new cars, once you get to a certain amount of damage, it's just too hard to fix it. Because most new vehicles are unibody, so it's the same problem. And I think you'd have to do. I think you would really have to be beating up the Cybertruck to get it to bend the frame. It would have to be a bad accident. Okay, let's see here. I think we're done. Yeah, that's it. We'll catch you next time.